What's up? It's ExpatLife Sydni, and I'm going to show you the real around the world. So for this next adventure, I'm going to be taking you guys with me to Aburi. So up there in those mountains, we head to the crafts village and we go to the botanical gardens. You guys have to keep watching to see my most adorable highlight on this Aburi trip. So on the way up the mountains to Aburi, you'll see a lot of foot action, just plenty side of the road markets and individual people selling things. It just was so much to look at going up there. Now, going up the actual mountain, the actual descent, it was crazy beautiful. Like, the greenery is perfect, some big beautiful houses to look at, and just really good photo opportunities. So pulling up to the botanical gardens, I had to pull on my phone and take some video because this entrance is everything. Like, I took some nice photos on my Instagram, so make sure you pop over and check those out. But coming into the gardens, it was really beautiful, and near the parking lot there are a lot of vendors like selling food and art, but I'm not gonna lie y'all, I was way more interested in the kittens. Yes, there was an entire litter of kittens just playing and feeding, and they stole my heart, so I'm sure they're gonna steal the show. One baby literally came up to me and I wanted to pet them so much. Pet them. Now look, I wanted to take one home, but I didn't. I kept my hands to myself because, you know, sometimes I think it's just better to just be an observer. Like, as humans, I feel like sometimes we get a little possessive and dominant, but like, to just observe nature and all of it happening is equally as satisfying. But after I pulled myself away from those baby kittens, I really saw more of the history that the garden holds. So this broken down helicopter was a gift from the Queen back in the 60s. I've heard people say it was the first helicopter in Ghana. I'm not sure if that's true, I have no idea, but I'm gonna just tell y'all what I know. And what I do know is that it was a really cool and unique experience. I've never seen a helicopter in like this condition up close and personal, and like actually getting to be inside of it. I think it's just such a unique experience, and I recommend like anybody come check it out. Man, if you're in Africa coming from like a big city, just know you'll see way more wildlife in the normal day-to-day than you usually would. Like, I promise you, I see probably a lizard a day. And that was no difference when I was in the gardens. Like, look at this adorable little guy running on his little legs. Hi, buddy. The garden has so many attractions to admire. It's just so natural, and there's not a million things jumping out at you at once, which I appreciated. Like, it was very scenic. Like, you could go for a picnic there if you wanted. It's not like super museum-like, if that makes sense. One of my favorite attractions was the Tree of Life. I wonder how long it must have taken to carve all that out, and just the detail up close is the real catch. You can make out faces and animals, and the piece honestly just tells a story. I absolutely 100% love the garden, and I think you have the option to have a tour guide, but I just preferred the quietness and serenity of just venturing on my own and humoring myself with my own inquisitions. Now, before I left Aburi, you know I had to go to the shops and see what was going on. I stopped at the crafts village and got some waist beads, and if you have me on TikTok at ExpatLife Sydni, then you definitely saw that experience. There was a nice selection to choose from, so I went with like a gold and blue type of vibe. Now, as cute as these beads were, I cannot lie to y'all, they was a little too tight, so I did end up having to take them off. But I think that next time I'm gonna just go with like them more further down on the waist instead of like the corset-y type of vibe, just so it can be more comfortable. Honestly, it felt like a super tight belt around my waist at all times, so that's just my idea on that. After this, your girl was hungry. So I went home and got some food. And speaking of which, I would love it if you guys could recommend me any restaurants or cafes to go to, because honestly I love hearing from all you guys, and I would love to just share my experience with you guys too. So if you're still here, thank you so much for watching. You might as well go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, because as always, there's so much more to see, which means there's so much more to show. Thanks. So on the way to